Howdy, Earpers. Welcome to another exciting recap of episode. We're doing 3 and 4 today. Got a lot to talk about. Ghosts. Maybe they're not ghosts. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I just thought the song was so sassy.
So
sassy. You gotta say it's sassy.
And full of heat, and
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, good scenes. Hey guys, welcome to the Wynonna Earp after show. Today we're covering episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 is Leavin on Your Mind, and number 4 is The Blade. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Plaster, and you guys can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Plaster.
And then we are in the chat, so if you have any comments, questions, and thoughts on it, please feel free to chime in. And absolutely no spoilers. We are talking about this fresh because we have not watched the show before, and you guys have been awesome so far. Love it in the Twitter too, so also reach out to us on Twitter. Anyway, so let's get started on episode 3.
Let's do it.
So we got Wynonna and Henry having that steamy moment, and then shut down. Loved it. It's like, oh, yes, and then, oh, nope, we're done.
I think they're gonna drag that on a little bit more.
They are.
I really like Hank Henry Holliday. Whatever his name is.
Yes.
Triple H.
Yes.
Do we
he's
know?
hot.
Do we know why that he's called Hank and then sometimes Henry? Because I know his name used to be John Henry, then Doc Holliday.
Well, he mentioned to Waverly of like changing your name. He had a moment about that. So that was my thought of like maybe he changed his name, but you didn't change your name that far. Like it's a H name to another H name, so
he changed his name to Henry, correct? No, he changed his Hank.
Yeah.
Changed his name to Hank.
So that's why the first episode I was like, dude, this character is Hank, Henry, Hank. I don't know which one it is, and now this episode cleared it up of
because
both.
some characters refer to him as Hank and some characters refer to him as Henry, and I'm like, what was that sassy go about his name? He said something in the first. There was a lot happening in the pilot, so I think I missed that story, but I really enjoyed that all of his like secret names or real names revolve around H. I'm like, you weren't that sneaky with it.
No. But I am curious if different characters saying it mean different things. You know, like
I think it does.
One
That's why
group says
when Doll said Hank, I was like, oh, he's not in the know.
Yeah, maybe.
Whereas
Henry is when you really know.
No, the first person to call him Doc was Waverly.
Oh yeah, well then
so
he's
anyone
like 3 names.
who gets too close to him calls him Doc. He doesn't respond well to it.
No, he don't like it
because he remembers being, I don't know, in a bad time in his life, I guess, if we will.
Amy in the chat, Triple H. Yep, that is fun.
We can call him Triple H.
Triple H. We'll call him Triple H.
Great, we'll call him Triple H.
And then we get to this unveiling the time capsule for Shirley Dixon, and we meet some new demons, which one of them is a hellhound, who's apparently one of the original 7. Which, that head twitch thing was just weird.
I didn't love the head twitch. I liked it for the character, but I feel like it was so obvious that the camera lingered on it, and it was almost like watching, like, Buffy or Xena Warrior Princess, where you're like, oh, a special effect is about to happen. Here it is. Like, I was like, I get it. If it was just like, I said this before for other shows that are like a little scarier. Like, if you're gonna give me a clue, like, let me, like, as an audience member, like, search for it. Like, I want to see, like, did he twitch? Like, I want to be like, wait, I want to like rewind. And I have to give a show credit because it is a show that you want to rewind and be like, wait, what?
Yes, lots of dialogue with that. Well, it's weird though because it's just a weird and unnerving thing. It doesn't seem to have a function, so that's why I more was like, okay, well that's a little strange, but
it was a character.
Yeah, it's character choice. And then they get this diary. So that was where we're like, what are they collecting things for? Did you have any idea of... I thought it was something else. I thought it was to be something cool. It's like, oh, you guys grabbed a diary?
I didn't know what it was. I know that they are collecting things. I know that they collected the locket, the Heartless locket, right? And then the diary. And I figure I'm really not even worried about it because it doesn't make sense, right? So it's one of those storylines that they're going to have to be like, and first you need the locket, and then you need the diary, and then you need the heart of a virgin.
It's the whole crux.
It's gonna be, it's like a horcrux. And I was like, the journey's gonna be revealed to us. So I wasn't super worried about these lesser revenants.
I thought the hand thing was weird. I was like, what's up
The
with
hand thing was weird, and I feel like we're going to come back to that and see what the actual connection to the hand is.
Maybe.
Because that was very specific.
Yes. I like the exposition of the ghost triangle and explaining, like, the cursed and where they're allowed. And that was a good exposition moment because it's Waverly telling the other people. So then you're like, okay, it's not so much like, let me give you info. And I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. Because now we have a nice little map of where our little zone is.
Waverly, the actress who plays Waverly, does an incredible job. Just one, being charming.
Oh, yeah. She's adorbs. Adorbs.
I have never been less annoyed by exposition, which for those of you listening at home is just like when they explain the storyline. When Waverly does it, she does it in a way that never bothers me, and I think it makes sense because her character is naturally curious and naturally easily excitable, and I'm not ever bothered by her being like, well, here's the ghost and here's the rules of the past, and I'm like, no, yeah, I want to hear more about it. Like, I'm not.
Oh, totally, 100%. Because like,
great.
You're interested. You're like, oh no, tell me more.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Great. Good job, class.
Yeah.
And then I like that team shut up and do as he says for dolls, and Wynonna was definitely not thrilled with him. She's just eating the donut, and I felt she was making fun of him a lot, but he was not picking up on it at all.
I think that Wynonna makes fun of a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are too slow to pick up on it.
Yeah.
And I think Dolls is one of them.
Oh, he's definitely not going to pick up on it.
Yeah.
And that's also when later Waverly gets Hank's photo and realizes who he is. Or that he's a ghost guy. Because that kind of happens a little bit after that. And then we jump to Waverly and Henry together. And I was like, dude, you are telling him way too much right now. Because you don't know enough about him. And she's like, let me tell you all about my research. And I'm like, wait.
Yep.
He might be a bad guy. Don't tell him too much.
Well, I think that's Waverly's problem, right? Is she loves Holy, she trusts Holy, and that's why she's not the heir.
Yeah.
She's just like a soft bunny rabbit with her belly exposed. She's just like, trust me, I trust you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you can't have that walking around with power and responsibility. No. She's just not guarded at all, which is why her sister is such a good compliment to her.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they go so well together. And then I left. I was like, oh, is she on to him? And it's like, yeah, she kind of figures out. And then you pointed out, and I agree too, of like how it was great that when she's like, where are you going? And Hank's like, to Bobo and the trailer park. Just is refreshingly honest.
I love Henry. I liked him in the last episode, but I'm like in love with him now. I love his character. He still continues to be the Catwoman to Wynonna's Batman, Bruce Wayne, if you will. And I'm into it. I'm into it in a big way. And I just really like his character. I love two things that he did in episode 3. First is that Waverly asked Henry, well, where are you going back to? And Henry was like, oh, I'll tell you exactly where it's with these rednecks with Bobo, da-da-da, and I'm in a trailer off to the side. Like, he told her exactly.
Here's my address.
He told her exactly because he to me in that moment, he said, what the fuck are you going to do about it?
That's true.
Like, he's like, come at me a little bit. Because I think at all times, he's telling Waverly, don't trust me. They're trying to use me against you. True. I'm not safe. You're not safe. Don't get comfortable with me. And also, I'm not lying to you. But just because what I'm saying is not a lie doesn't mean it's safe.
He's an honest bad guy.
Yeah. I like him. I love it. It's great. Much. He's just like, if you come near me, you can, but it's going to be dangerous, and I'm not going to be...
Oh, yeah, he's like, it's in a place ladies should not go. And I'm like, that's a good point. It's very true.
And I like that he later shot just to the side of her.
Oh, yeah, that was totally... Like, she's like, you shot at me. He's like, I shot near you.
On purpose. It was very on purpose to
and
me.
Make it look obvious, but we all know he's an amazing sharpshooter, so he totally missed on purpose.
Oh, 100%. He shot the side of the building.
I mean, he's that good then?
I don't think Bobo cared. I think Bobo was just like, take care, because he said, like, take care of her or I'll take care of it. And he was like, he walked over and he was like, I'm gonna. And then I thought,
so go away, little girl.
I thought he was gonna be like, what are you doing here? And I was pleasantly surprised that he was like, puppy, go. Like, he was like, how do you get to somebody who's like a child or like totally innocent that like they're not safe? You scare them. You make a loud noise. And that's what he did. Like, she scurried away. It worked.
Well, at least he hurried up and did the shot, because Wynonna doesn't at the graveyard, because that was something that I'm like, this happens and everything. I'm like, stop talking to bad guy. Shoot bad guy.
Yeah.
graveyard. She's like, well, da da da, and he runs away, and she's like, wow, he was fast. I'm like, maybe you should have shot him while he was standing there.
I mean, I kind of like that though, because like we said in the pilot, she's still learning.
That's true. She's not immediately like.
She's not a trained police officer. She's not a trained killer.
And she called them people and sort of human. She didn't say human, but she said people to dolls earlier. And he's like, they're not people. She's like, well, they used to be. So.
She's still adjusting, I think.
And then we get the hostage situation and, okay, dolls to hand face thing. We learned there was a reason, but oh my gosh, that was so weird. I'm sorry, I don't know how many of you guys out there, but someone going to touch my face like that, I'd be like, what are you doing?
You don't like
what are you doing?
You don't like people just putting a palm on your face for about
come here, Amber.
7 seconds
Yeah,
too
and just
long?
like hang out there. Yeah, it's weird. And kind of fiddled
So
with her
gross.
hair.
Oh!
I was like, oh, creepy.
And like, I love how she was just like,
oh yeah, she didn't even really flinch. She was like, okay.
she was like, you're weird, I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Yeah. But it was a good reason later.
There was a good reason.
There was the tracking.
Thank goodness.
I'm gonna say it's a tracking device because then he's like, I was follow him.
He puts a chip behind her ear.
Wait, she doesn't notice?
Maybe she does because she doesn't react.
That's true.
So maybe she's like, oh, because I mean, how can you not really?
No, but
feel
later
that?
she goes like, oh wait, what's there?
Okay, so I guess he did
Yeah.
kind of stick it on her neck. Maybe it just was.
Or stuck it in her hair. See, that she might not notice. Like,
yeah, but would it stay
I don't
in your
know.
hair? I don't think.
But
That's...
it stuck to your skin and didn't come off.
Yeah. You put adhesive on your skin and it's
Okay,
underneath your
maybe.
ear where people don't knock over.
But I feel
your
like I
hair
would
gets
feel
knocked
that.
around.
I don't know. Be like, I got an itch. What
We're
is
very
that?
concerned with logistics. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I am. Logistics of a show with demons and monsters and things. But
The
whatever.
chat is saying that they love dolls and dolls is hot. Well, I'm glad.
We don't disagree.
I mean, he's a very
But
good
he's
looking
weird.
man. But his hand on the face was
His
like
behavior so far
very
is
awkward.
just strange.
Yeah.
But maybe that's semi-alluring for some people.
Maybe.
Maybe, because he's different. And then we get Henry and Bobo later on. They're making their deal, which was really interesting. Of like,
Speaking of
yes,
men being weird,
Yes.
I love how weird Bobo is. I don't know if you noticed, but when he's making the deal with Henry,
when his like hover behind the neck
he
thing.
goes he goes
Yes.
up behind him with his like fur, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like, listen to me, and he like puts his like big old manly chin on Henry's
Yes.
shoulder to be like, I can mess with you when I want to. Mer.
Well, that
and I was
felt-
like, you're weird, and I like it.
Oh, that weird I dug though, because that was like him purposefully making someone uncomfortable. I don't think Dolls does his weird behavior to make people uncomfortable. Bobo was doing it to be like, I'm gonna make you feel awkward and uncomfortable. Like I'm a big lion and I'm like just gonna rest my head here and I could totally bite your face off right now, but I'm not gonna yet.
Bobo
With
reminds
his
me
big
a little
furry
bit of
coat
like
too.
Bobo reminds me of Scar from The Lion King,
Yes, a little bit.
but with a ridiculous
And he has
name.
like his patch hair. I noticed this time too that he has the blonde in one eyebrow and then on the bleach on the beard too.
I mean,
I want to know if that's natural, guys. Do you know?
probably not.
Spoiler, not spoilers. Let us know if that's natural.
I
or
don't
if he
think it's
bleached it.
natural because
One
the
spot I
hair
could
and
believe it,
makeup on this show is incredible.
but no, they'd be like, "That's awesome. You have that. Let's
Oh.
keep it." That's what I
Oh,
mean. Of
I see.
like, because some people can have like one spot in their beard be
patchy
bleached,
eyebrow, though?
but the eyebrow's a little different.
That would be a fortunate casting find.
Yeah.
if that was true.
Love Bobo. Yes, we do love Bobo too. He's very
Yeah.
intriguing. Now, see, like, he's a cool bad guy.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy. Like, shows, I hate when there's a bad guy and you're just like, you know, they're just annoying. Like, this bad guy's formidable, intriguing, and, like, you want to know more about him.
Yeah.
You're not just like, or he's not stupid and annoying. You're just like,
He's not
okay.
stupid.
Yeah.
I always appreciate a non-stupid villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have, Waverly. Whoops. And Henry and Waverly, and she's like, you were supposed to help us. Her, like, breakdown was so sad. She's all crying. She's like, you're supposed to help us. And he's like, no, I'm not like the good guy. So she's just not getting
I
that.
like that he continues to tell the truth. He's like, no.
Yeah. He's
Like,
like,
you
no,
don't
not
you
really.
don't get to project your feelings on me. I'm not here for you.
Yes.
I'm like, yes.
You're like, don't coddle her.
It's
Nope.
just rare to find anyone be that honest. So like to have like this cool guy on the TV show. Like,
Yeah.
It's just so
like,
nice.
Straight to the point. Back to the hostage situation at the homestead, and then the tracking of Wynonna, and Shorty gets injured and then later dies. I had sad face with like a tear.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was actually gonna die. I'm like,
I didn't either. I
Because
definitely
the aunt, they were like, she's dead. She came back. Shorty, I'd be like, oh, he really died.
I thought for sure Shorty was safe.
Yeah.
Because
Something.
he looked like a real recurring character to me. So I was
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised they went a little Game of Thrones with that. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you have me on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
Wynonna Earp.
And
SyFy.
And okay, did you think it was weird? I thought it was super weird. We did like that demon guy. I don't think I really caught his name, but the one who was the one last standing at the ritual. We really like that actor. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
how he portrayed it. He was
but
like,
he's so good.
I like you, and like I know you're a bad guy, but I like you. Like,
Okay, he was the demon who
the only one left
held
standing at the end.
Champ and Shorty
Yeah.
hostage, and they were getting into the safe, and like the other one was the kind of black-mouthed, twitchy guy,
Yeah.
and then the guy that kept
With the knife to
telling
the
him
chest.
to get in line.
Yeah.
Like he was like probably the best actor of that episode. Like I just
Felt
thought he
so
was so
real.
good,
yeah,
and I don't know what his name was, but he was great, and
yeah.
apparently he went back to hell. So we won't
I just
be
thought it
saying
was
who
really
yet.
weird. He's doing the whole ritual with his back to his hostages. I mean, yes,
But
you
he plays a
assumed-
stupid character.
Yeah, he's not super.
So I was okay with
Okay.
that. If
Okay.
it was Henry, I'd be like, or Dolls, I'd be like, why is your back turned?
That's
We
true.
expect more from you.
Okay, maybe I expected more from him. I'm like, I would face my prisoners, even though I'm not really looking, just in case.
Yeah, and we like Champ less and
Oh,
less in this
stupid
episode.
Champ! Yes.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit of a douche this episode.
Beefcake. Oh no, I got notes on him later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Beefcake. That's what I was calling him. Oh, and then we learned, thank you, Dolls. He cannot fire the gun that Wynonna has.
I didn't think so.
It clicked. I didn't think it would either because we were like, it's the heir.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what bullets, which is very convenient, and great because you just have an arsenal of bullets and just have the gun. But
Magic gun.
I like that. That was a great moment of like, good, now we know.
Yeah.
And I totally dig the hell portal, like how they go into the earth.
I do too.
It looks really cool. Like it's literally the earth eating them back up again.
Yeah.
And then gone. I was like, yes. It's a fun effect. Like every time it comes on, I'm not over it. I'm
No,
like,
I'm not
yes.
over it either. I really like it, and
Yeah.
like so much so that like when she's standing over Shorty when she has to kill him, I'm like, do you want to maybe back up because the earth's about to open up underneath your feet? Like I was already
That's a
anticipating
good question.
it.
Like, how close can a normal person who's not involved be to it? Like, could you stand on the edges of it, or is it like literally a hole? We don't know yet. It's a good question.
I feel like it would only take the demons.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think you're affected.
If we're
Yeah.
going with the mythology of demons
Yes.
can't take any soul they want.
Yeah, not yet. But they can body jump, which we learned that. And we're like, which we don't know anything about, with that pink car that we don't know anything about either.
I love the pink car.
It's
I
a
was
gorgeous
so
pink car.
mad we didn't get to meet the witch who was in there supposedly. I want there to be some sassy gay witch to be in that pink car so bad.
This is totally far-fetched, and don't quote me on this, but I'm like, what if Officer Hot is the witch?
Oh no.
No, I don't think so. But it was a moment that I'm like, what female characters do we know so far? Ooh, or the aunt.
Or Gus. But Gus doesn't have
Yeah.
that much style. Gus is like super laid
Yeah.
back. She doesn't have like flair.
Crazy theories. We don't know anything yet on that
I think
because
it's
we
gonna
don't
be a
know
new
anything about it.
character.
Yeah.
No, I think
I
it's
would
a new
like it to be a new character. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, who's in the big car? And Waverly and Hot, I was like, aw, Champ, ew. Like him, like all smothering her, and he's like, oh, babe, I'm fine. I'm just like,
He did what he was supposed to do. We don't like
but
him anymore.
Hot was just genuinely like, hey, let me hold your hands, and are you okay?
It was
And-
such an awkward scene where she was like, here, across. I was
No,
like,
it's only like the
"Oh."
one time of like hold the hands and then
No,
shit.
because
Hot,
then Waverly
No.
reached back out.
yes, just the one time.
It was
Well, because
awkward.
she moved her hands back when the boyfriend showed up, and she's like, but Waverly's like,
Yeah.
she's like, wait.
Girl, you need to let him go.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh yeah, she needs to dump him. But like, no. And then later we got Dolls and Wynonna, and at first I was like, oh, his line, I was always there. I was like, that's so romantic. And then like 2 seconds later, yeah, just collateral damage, like people you care about. I was like, oh, just kidding.
I think that, well, we don't have Dolls figured out yet. That's
No,
for sure.
not at all.
I think that he tries to comfort and then he's like, back to the facts. Like,
Yes.
I think that he is,
Well, that's like his, yay, great pep talk.
yeah, I think he's like lawful good. I think
Yeah.
everything with him is black and white.
Yes.
And when he tries to encourage, he's like, I don't really care about encouraging because I'm right.
Yep.
Like, everything is right or wrong with Dolls.
Pretty much.
But apparently that doesn't matter to anyone because he's good looking, so.
Yes. Then back to Hank and Wynonna. Yeah, that's when he's like, he mentioned a name change. And then I have a note that Henry and Bobo. Oh, because with Bobo, he was Henry. Hank, he's with Wynonna. And then we learn John, Henry, Doc Holliday, and he reveals himself. This is who I am. So that was nice. Again, he's being honest. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And Wynonna's like, yeah, right. And that leads us into episode 4, The Blade.
Which I like. I think episode 4 is my favorite episode so far.
Your random theories are amazing. Yes, thank you, chat room. There are times where we will spit out theories that are a bit out there, but sometimes it's like, what is the first thing you think of?
Yeah.
And then also, hashtag dump champ. Yes.
Hashtag dump champ.
Yes. I dig it. All right, so in episode 4, we had the Blade. We start with the flashback of Doc, which we looked that up too because we were kind of like, who? Yes, we know the name Doc Holliday, but like, who is that? And then yes, he died of TB, tuberculosis, which I like that his flashback starts with him all coughing. We didn't really see like a lot of blood when he's coughing, but still, he's not well. And then we meet Wyatt Earp, and he's like, I'm gonna go to Purgatory. And
I like
Doc's like, no, I'm good.
Doc's
I'm
like,
dead. I'm dying. Have fun.
So we kind of see him make a deal with the devil, but we
Well,
don't really
see
see
it happen.
We just see the before and after.
Yes.
So I have a feeling that episode 5 we'll see.
Oh, reveal of what was in between.
Maybe it'll be the witch.
Ooh, good
Because
point.
remember he puts that demon whose name we didn't catch, the barber.
August. No, I wrote it down.
August?
Yeah.
The demon barber of Big Deep Lake Street.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So we see him.
Yeah.
We see that Henry, or Doc Holliday, has chained him up, and we also hear that the witch has control over which spirit the bodies go to.
Yes.
So it makes me feel like my theory is that Henry made a deal with the witch, who kind of controls the spirits, and then he kind of locked up the spirits to be like, I'll go do your bidding for you now that I can't die.
Okay,
That's
I like that too, because also
kinda
that makes
the
sense
theory.
of, I could see him going to go talk to a witch to make a deal rather than like hail Satan and make a deal with the devil.
He does get along with women.
So, this is true. And then we get to the super kind of sexy scene with the shooting range, and I wrote down that Wynonna pretty much gets like a girl boner watching Doc shoot those targets. Yeah, we two were like, whew,
That's
sexy. He was so cool. He's like, let me shoot her
great.
on my back. Let me not even look and tip my hat.
So
I was like,
great.
huh.
That was so there's a thing in Game of Thrones where they call sexposition, where they explain exposition through like really steamy scenes.
Oh, this was a sex position scene.
This was a sexposition scene where Wynonna's like, tell me about yourself and why you can shoot and be on my land, da da da. And she's like, are you really good at shooting? And he's like, watch this. And he goes like upside down
cool
with his like pinky.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh.
He's so cool.
You could keep proving it to me. It would be fine.
I loved it.
It would be fine if you kept doing that for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
He just looks so cool. Now,
great.
this is one of those things, though, like, I haven't looked him up. Oh, that's the other thing, too, guys. I haven't looked anybody up in the show because sometimes that tells you who's alive, who's not, and information. Because we were on another show that when you looked up somebody, you learned something about them. So we were like, just don't look him up. I feel unfortunately, I want to know what he looks like everyday modern clothes, because I feel it might not be as cool as his Western getup.
I don't want to know.
I know. I'm like, oh, I don't want to
see him
like the
in-
mustache. I'm like, oh, it looks so good.
Yeah.
He's probably still very handsome, but it's probably not going to be quite as cool.
But we did look up the legend of Doc Holliday.
We did.
And I don't think it spoiled anything for the show about us,
No.
but I was pleasantly surprised to find that a lot of the characters in the show are in our American history books.
Aha.
So
Yes.
that was kind of a treat. So I kind of want to go back towards the later episodes and read up on all these characters. Wyatt Earp, the Earps.
There's a
family
lot of
line.
Earp kids. That's what I looked up. I didn't realize that Wyatt Earp had so many brothers and sisters. So I'm like, well, that makes sense. There could be a lot of descendants, because if you have like, there's 6 of you or something, like at least one of your line's going to survive. But
So things we know about Henry Hank Doc Holliday.
not even, because he's like, would you feel my heart pounding? Oh, that was like,
I was like, oh yeah, great.
it's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. So you're warm too? Great. Cool. So we know that Doc Holliday dies from TB at the age of 36 in real life, the real historical character. And in the show, we think that he makes a deal with the devil, although now my theory is that he makes a deal with the witch, which we haven't met yet, which I'm really excited about. For some reason, I want the witch to be like Katie Seagal. You know her from
We'll have to see.
I mean, I don't know who it is. I just like that's who I would
know.
cast.
Oh, okay.
From like Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
She's the mom on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. That could be interesting.
She'd be real sassy and real great. And then when he shoots the cards and the cans and everything, we know that he is the known or famous, right, is the word that they use for having the quickest draw in the West. And he's also a gambler. So that might be later on we might see him lose because he's addicted to gambling. So that would be an interesting storyline.
And was a dentist.
You're
like, random job descriptions of things you've done in your life.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, my noises.
Yeah.
Just kiss me. Oh, that's why.
Oh, the chat's saying we'd be very happy if we looked him up.
He still looks stash-alicious, minus the Western get-up. Thank you, chat room.
Well, we'd love
Good
to.
to know. Maybe we'll look him up.
We'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah. Be like, hey. Or Skype in if you can't make it.
Whatever you need to do.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we learned he bargained for immortality. So, but he can die, because he says if he gets stabbed or shot, he can die. It's more just he doesn't age and die like of natural causes of age.
Right, which I enjoyed the
I like that. That was a good way to explain it. It kind of made me think American Horror Story Vampires of like, it's a cool way to be immortal, because then it's not perfect, because then it's not this like Superman like, cool, you have one weakness. No offense to Superman, but still, it's one of those things of like, ooh, it just makes you, he has the sense of danger. Like, it's not him running out and it's like, I'm invincible. Yeah. He still could have his life in danger.
Yeah.
All right. And then, I like that she asked him about the curse and he has no answer. He's like, Wyatt never talked to me about that. I don't know. I think I want to believe him because he hasn't lied about anything really yet so far, but do you think he knows anything?
I think he knows something.
Is he holding back?
I think he knows something, and I think the reason that he's not telling is because he doesn't know enough to not hurt her. And I think that, I mean, my guess would be that if he doesn't know enough information, he's kind of a hold the cards close to the chest kind of guy.
I had that visual too. I'm like, hold the cards.
Yeah, he doesn't reveal until like he's sure that everything is okay or needs to be said for the safety of others. I think if it was like regarding her safety, he would mumble out like what part he knew, but then she'd be annoying and ask him questions, and he don't want that. He don't want that. No, I think he knows a piece of the puzzle. I don't think he knows everything.
Yeah. Then we jump to this random character, Megan, and it's like, time's up in the mirror, and then it's like, repent sinners. And we learn that they guess who it is Father Robert Malik, because they're like, oh, well, he was a guy who would write that kind of a thing. That's with our team. We'll call them the team, with their researching. But
they go to Bobo, and Bobo's fine. It's like, fine, you can meet Father Robert if you want. He's smelly. Go over there. And it was like interesting that they led him to him so quickly, because they all knew that like Father Robert had nothing.
Yeah, they're like, nope.
Like, fine, go talk to him.
Yeah, there's my notes. It was like Henry and Wynonna are like, okay, let's go check out the trailer park, because he's like, the hypothetically conversation. So, okay, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, go loud. Oh, and then we wrote, so as soon as we saw Bobo, we both were like, loving the wardrobe.
As soon as we got to that camp, even the like the
all
little
the
crappy tin roof trailer with twinkle lights and the porch, whitewashed porch behind it, I was like, everything about this like redneck ghetto is so gorgeous. Like, I just love it. Like, it's just so beautifully designed, and the wardrobe department on the show kills it every episode. I'm like, even like in the cold opening with the girl who dies in the mirror, she has this kind of like cool,
I was wondering if we somehow were in a different time period with her like updo and her dress. I'm like, did we jump to the 60s?
It was so
but
cute.
It looked super cute. Yeah. And you're like,
no, it was like Walmart chic. Like she was like country, but like super cute.
And then she had to die.
And then the girl who climbs into Henry's trailer, and like we
she
think
looks sexy.
Like, she was like almost like Indian tribal, but not. She could have got that shirt at Target. Like, it was so well done.
I wonder if we'll probably see more of her. I think.
I like her.
Yeah,
I like how
interesting.
Like she's sent to do like Bobo's bidding. Yeah. I think there could be more with her.
We just do what he says. Okay. Yep.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, pretty much, right. I also like that Doll showed Bobo the badge. And Bobo's kind of like, and?
What are you gonna
nice.
do? Yeah.
Yeah. well, I can have people here and da-da-da. And it's like, Bubba's like, yeah, whatever. And then when they go meet the father, Robert Malik, Wynonna's line, wait, no, stop, you had me at whores. He is a very angry man, and he thinks all women are whores, apparently.
I thought it was really great. I thought it was really, really great.
Interesting man.
There are people out there that love to find reasons to call people evil, and his was like, oh yeah, well she slept with someone once, so she's a whore. Yeah. And whores deserve to die, and whores better have guilt. Whores. And she's like, you had me at whores. And I was like, thank you. You're not even getting angry because he's clearly a crazy person and wants to be in fear of women.
I think his woman left him at some point, and that's probably why he's all angry.
Yeah, he just wants to live in his anger, so you just let him go. Like, I love that she didn't even address that. She was like, okay, buddy, why don't you take my card? Like,
but we learned it's not him.
It's not even
because
close.
He has no legs.
He has no legs.
Though he could possibly get out of camp. So apparently the demons, though, they are limited by the bodies they're in, essentially, because it's not like they can magically transport themselves to other locations.
Well, this one had a very different set of rules because
except for that guy,
it could transfer in between mirrors, which was weird.
That was new.
And scary, and also exciting because it means other demons can transfer through fire and water and other elements that maybe we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because she said water. Good point.
Yeah.
And we learned he's... Okay, guys, now this is another one. Correct us if you have it better notes or such, but Mirror Dude, yes. I'm like, well, that's... yes, we do know his name, but for right now, that's on page 2 of notes. But he's roughly number 3 of 7 of the original 7 that were at Wynonna's house, because first one was Shark Teeth Dude. Second one was the Hellhound kind of guy, and now it's this guy. So far we've met roughly 3 of the original 7, which is pretty quick already. By episode 4, we've met 3 of the 7, because I feel those are pivotal ones. Like, the other demons are going to be fun, peppered throughout the show, but the 7, you know, maybe they'll, like, space them out as the show
They're going to have to. They're going to have to give them... They're going to have to give us bigger and badder demons that are going to be spaced out between multiple episodes.
And then we have Wynonna and with dolls. I'm like, I'm trying to read my notes. Yes, they have a nice little moment after Megan when they met Megan, the bitchy prom queen girl.
Yeah.
Though she's not prom queen, but you know, the type kind of idea. And she's like, oh, don't talk to me in that tone. He's like, no, I was gonna say you were only 16. I'm like, aw, they had like a nice moment.
Yeah, I think he generally tries to be nice to her. He tries. Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny, he's super unobservant, though he does highly notice between Waverly and Hot checking each other out. We were commenting on that. He seems oblivious to a lot of other stuff.
He's oblivious to almost every
laser focused
female interaction except for that one.
Well, apparently he's like, you guys are looking at each other.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I'm like, oh, okay. Then we jump to the interrogation, and Dolls apparently knows that Hank is Doc. Which they don't really explain how he figured out, but he goes, so I know. He's like, so when were you going to tell me you were shacking up and hanging out with Doc? He did.
I guess I don't know when he caught on to that, but...
He caught on pretty quick.
It feels like, you know, Waverly had that in her notes. She had a picture of him on the table, so it's possible that he went through the information.
That's true.
And it's also possible that she was just in the backseat of the car yapping away and explaining things to him. That's all of that. I buy. Yeah. I buy all of that.
So someone in the chat room says that he has gaydar. Well, apparently Doll's gaydar is on point so far. From what we know of the show.
Okay, so to recap, when he snaps at Officer Hot for coming in and not reading her face, being like, oh, I'm so sorry, he was like, just shut the door. Yeah. And he like didn't pick up on that. No. He didn't pick up on that it was weird to like place a palm on Wynonna's face for like 7 seconds too long.
Nope.
But he picked up immediately on gaydar.
Yes, and he hovers really, really closely. Like we were sitting and watching this, and I like leaned into Amber like this close.
And I was
for a second, and I'm like, no, that's really weird, and I know you. But him, it's like, they don't know each other that well. That's really weird.
But he can pick up on gaydar.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe he's getting better. Like, let's just give him a bit of the doubt. Maybe he's getting better.
He's learning better
around
skills.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
He's been in the office too long, or he's been on missions too long.
Maybe he's been around women a little longer, and he's like, oh, okay, now
it's like, oh, I get it.
Because he's been much nicer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, leave comments if you like our nicknames for these demons. It makes it easier to remember them for some of them. And
Sharky.
A couple people in the
Sharky dude.
A couple people in the chat room are enjoying the names.
Like Sharky.
Thank you. Yeah, he was interesting. Oh, I absolutely adored the outside reference to pop culture when my husband was like the town's Walter White. I'm like, yay! I love when shows do that because it's like we as viewers don't live in a bubble, so I don't like when the show is necessarily in a bubble. So I like when they acknowledge outside world stuff because you're like, no, that makes sense that those people could be watching that, and it makes it very current and real and relatable.
Off topic, I was watching Zootopia last night, and they have a thing where they're like making flowers, so it looks like an opium den, with the little whatever, the kids and stuff. And so like so adults will get it, but kids won't. And so like he's like, oh, I gotta go. Who's the next shift? And he's like, Walter, Jesse, get in here. And he hands him the gas mask. And I'm like, this isn't a kid's movie. And it was so like sly and sneaky.
It's a nice subtle reference.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
Yeah.
And then we met the guy who dies at the bar real quick, very briefly. And I think his wife's name is Rose, because then Wynonna is asked to come to her house. And then I like when Doll shows up and she's like, I asked you to come here, Wynonna. Who the heck is that guy? And she was not happy. She's like, he comes along. It's a package deal or something like that.
Right.
Someone said that's the theory on his stare, so we'll see.
Oh, that he's shipping the relationship, that he's shipping the gay relationship.
He's rooting for it on the sidelines.
I like that. I mean,
cool.
I don't
He's
know
not
if I
going to
believe
say
it,
anything.
but
I doubt it. Yeah.
I want to believe it.
So we learned that Rose is the wife of the guy at the bar, and apparently the killer's gonna be back. Now, it felt almost like, at first I almost thought that the killer was placing like false blame on you. Like, it wasn't something you really did, but then apparently it was like, no, really, they're secrets. They're secrets you have. So
I couldn't figure out that the demon barber guy, I'm just gonna keep calling him Demon Barber, because the very first girl, it seemed like she really didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And that he was like, you're guilty, aren't you? And she's like, I guess I got drunk once and maybe did this. I'm sorry, forgive me. And then, like, because she didn't really do it, the girl didn't forgive her. And it was like, what are you talking about? I'm confused. It's been since high school, da-da-da. And, like, couldn't get it together in 2 hours. And so, I mean, I can't figure out if that demon just put it in people's head that they were guilty.
I thought it was a mix of both.
Yeah.
Like, he maybe expanded on something that was small.
Because he did it with Wynonna at the end, where he was like, no, it's not that. What else? What else could it be?
Yeah, he's fishing for it. He's like, what else is it? Yeah. And then, I like that Waverly is our tech girl on this show. Yeah. She's tech girl. Yeah. Because she's the one who does all the research, and we learned that the guy's name is August Hamilton, and he's a barber. And Waverly knows ancient languages, and we learned she studied, so that's a whole other thing. But funny thing with August Hamilton, our barber guy, I was thinking, I'm like, no, that's perfect, because they mentioned, like, he learned a secret, and that was a problem. How many of you, I know I have for sure, when you've gone to get your hair done, maybe girls, maybe more than guys, but still, you talk to your salon person, you chat, you gossip, you maybe tell them things.
You give your hairstylist your secrets.
You talk. So I'm like, that totally makes sense that this dude is secret guy and getting secrets out.
I love that theory.
And it was one of those like, oh yeah, you totally do that. And then I find it weird when I have been at a salon and then I don't talk to them. Like, they're not being chatty with me, and then I'm like, all right, fine, I guess I'll just sit here for however long this is taking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So someone in the chat said that the very first girl drove over the blonde girl's dad while drunk driving, but my understanding was that Wynonna actually sent the blonde girl home, and so the blonde girl actually ended up being so drunk that
I think it's Megan,
that she ran over her own dad, and
I think they were in the car
wrong.
Together. I want to say they're in the car together.
Okay.
She killed her own father, her friend was in this other seat, and it was too traumatic, so she places the blame on her friend.
I think so. So I don't think that the brunette girl really did do it,
but it's maybe one of those, it was a trauma and that's how they remember it, because the way Wynonna tells it afterwards, it's Megan, because she's like, I sent her home and she didn't know how to drive. And why would that matter if, you know, the dad? So whatever.
If Megan didn't do it. Yeah.
All right, so we'll speed through the end. We have the crazy exorcism.
Yes.
Go dolls floating and stuff, and they find the water.
Pro tip, if you see a exorcism, just tase them.
Yes, tasers. Yay. Big deep lake. We both were like, lol, LOL on that one.
What's the name of the lake?
Yes. And
Big
we get our
lake.
cute bonding between Waverly and Wynonna of like, Waverly's like, I should have been the chosen one. And yes, she's not 27. Someone said that in chat. I'm like, no, she's not. But she should be the next one is how she feels because she studied and she
Yeah,
researched.
just because she's not there doesn't mean that she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Has
because
nothing to
if
do
her
with
sister's
logic.
it means her sister has to die. So she doesn't want that. She just wants her sister gone and her to get it, I think, is where she sits.
Right.
Because she's like, I studied so hard, I worked for her this, and you don't do anything and you get it. But then they have their sister bonding, and then they chat, and you're happy, and you're like, yay!
Also, can I just say that I love
Yes.
that Waverly ordered bubblegum sake
Yes.
from Japan. How adorable.
That was super
I
cute.
died.
I had some cherry blossom hard cider the other night, and that was actually really tasty. Check it out on my Twitter. And then finally we end with Wyatt and Henry. We learned more about the demon exchange, and Wyatt Earp was not happy his friend did that, which we both were like, I think we like Doc a little bit more than Wyatt. Wyatt's being a little grumpy pants.
I don't think we're supposed to, but I like Doc Holliday more than Wyatt Earp.
I think so, me too.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of... Any quick theories?
No, I think I kind of shared them as I went for this because we're combining 2 episodes into
It's
one.
kind of hard to be on to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything yet. So I think that pretty much covers it up. Covers us for episode 3 and 4 of Wynonna Earp. Laura, you can let our awesome viewers know where to find you.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. You guys can find me on Instagram at AmberPlaster and on YouTube at youtube.com/AmberPlaster22.
22.
Yeah, I couldn't get my name for some reason.
Oh, I hate that. That's why I included my middle initial in there, because they had my name taken. But
Rude.
Twitter people. You guys can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D. Lane, that's Karidlane, and Facebook at Kari Lane Actor. Thank you so much for tweeting at us too. Your comments on the show. Make sure to leave comments on the YouTube video. We love reading about them and talking the show about you. And great job on no spoilers. We super appreciate it because we're new fans to this, so we are new Earpers with you. Thumbs up on the video and 5 stars on iTunes. Make sure to subscribe to AfterBuzz and be up to date on all the awesome shows. Any other shows you want to let people know you're on too?
The only other show that I have going on is on Periscope, where we learn video games together, which is where I'm going right now. We were playing through Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you guys are into video games, you guys can follow me at Amber Plaster on Twitter, and I'll share it there.
Nice.
And we'll be back same time next week, right?
Yes, same time, same place next week. Real quick, I was gonna say Van Helsing, another female lead show. Woohoo! Timeless, technically female lead on that one too. This one and Box Office Breakdown, where we talk about box office. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.